Juarez, Mexico. And this is how that illegal got in, just walking right across. You're into the area in Texas. You are then into the population. That's what happened here.
Well, Maria, this is an invited invasion by the Biden administration, right? There aren't enough actual Americans to vote for them. They want as many illegals as they can get into big cities, give them amnesty so they get more electoral college votes, more congressional seats, more federal funding so they can rule by fiat. Okay, a new Chicago of people coming into our country every single year. It's just unbelievably disgusting, and it's no surprise that it's politically unpopular. If you remember, it was just 9 years ago, Trump came down the escalator, and this was his #1 issue. And I don't believe, and they can call Americans that don't like illegal immigration racist all they want, but the fact of the matter is, we are a nation of rule followers. We're a nation of law followers, and people hate to see other people breaking the law. All right. Yeah. No one's talking about illegal immigration and the people that pay thousands of dollars and wait 3, 5, 10 years to get in this country legally when they could just walk over the border and get a big fat $10,000 debit card, a free hotel room, a free cell phone, free health care, all of these other things. If this isn't anything other than an invited invasion by this administration, I don't know what it is.
And when Trump first came on the scene and he started saying we're going to ban this group and we're going to shut down this border and we're going to do this and we're not going to allow Venezuela to unload their prisons and send them into America, he was mocked, okay? Right. He was mocked. He was attacked. He doesn't know what he was talking about. In fact, he knew exactly what he was talking about. The Biden-Harris 2024 campaign released this statement following Trump's border trip. Ready? Donald Trump is weak on border security and is weak on crime. That's why he directed MAGA Republicans to kill the toughest and fairest reforms to secure the border in decades and tried to defund the police every year he was in office. Are they serious? The truth is Donald Trump does not want to secure the border they go on. He prefers chaos and cruelty because he's betting it helps him politically. Michael Lee, this is absolutely outrageous to say that Trump wanted to defund the police. This was the Democrats, particularly the progressives, modus operandi for years. They wanted to defund the police. What were they expecting to happen? Did they expect crime was not going to spike the way it is right now? Now we are all the victims?
Maria, the next thing they're going to accuse Trump of shooting baby's mother in the Disney movie. I mean, it's unbelievable the things that they make up. Look, it's an intentional destruction of Western civilization. You're seeing it play out right in front of your face.
Yeah. All right, we're just. Do you own any Bitcoin?
I recently took some profits and moved it into some other AI-related stocks that I think have more upside. That being said, the bull case for Bitcoin is playing out right in front of us. The Sentinel moment happened with Silicon Valley Bank last year, where in a massive risk-off event, Bitcoin rallied substantially. Okay. After that, with all the government money printing, so the deficit came in much larger last year than was predicted. I suspect the same thing's going to happen this year. Okay. New York Community Bank on the fritz. If there's more bank failures, there's more Fed bailing out, and people like Janet Yellen saying we can backstop every single depositor in the entire system, it goes to play in the thesis that fiat currency is worthless because they can just keep printing it forever. And then you change to the ease of use. Now you can just buy an ETF from a reputable company like Fidelity or Bitcoin or who I like, VanEck. It makes it a lot easier for people to own. Historically, once you break through a cycle high, you triple that previous cycle high. So you could, in my opinion, I think you see north of 150,000.
All right. Wow. It's unbelievable what's happening here. So you do think it's going much higher then? When?
Well, I don't know if it's going to take 6 months or 2 years. These cycles play out over time, but the halving is an important event. And already now with the buying of the ETFs, and it just got approved at Bank of America Merrill yesterday and Wells Fargo. So this is still being rolled out into the retail advisor industry. The best days are in front of it unless the government somehow runs a budget surplus. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I think the belief is in blockchain. much more so than Bitcoin.
Right.
But you know, you're seeing euphoria around it all. We'll get back to that coming up. We'll take a short break, and then Joe Biden. That's why he went to the place where there were 4 apprehensions in Brownsville the other day.
Maria, this is an invited invasion of our country. This is what Biden should be impeached for, is the total disregard for our sovereignty as a nation, because everything about this is intentional. This is no accident that they're not funding the program to make sure that these people aren't vetted and their claims aren't coming in, that we're not forcing first safe nation status on Mexico, and the only leverage that the Republicans have is the budget, and they are completely afraid to shut down the government because it's a pretty easy solution. We're shutting down the government until you shut down the border. They're simply afraid to do it, even though it would be wildly popular amongst their base and might actually give the House Republicans a chance of holding on to the House this fall.
And Democrats don't want to do it. Look, don't your thoughts on earnings season so far? And I also want to get your take on the disaster of the morning, which is New York Community Bank Corp. Stock is down better than 20% right now, almost 30% actually.
So our earnings season has been pretty good, right? And more specifically, if you look at the market over the last 15 months, it's been the story of the Magnificent Seven. And to me, what that is a verification that the underlying economy is really not doing that good. And you have this concentration of performance from a couple of things. First of all, you have a Netflix that has become a consumer staple. It's your new Procter & Gamble because nobody's canceling their Netflix subscription, okay? And then the other side of that, which is more exciting and more interesting, is artificial intelligence. And all the major players delivered significant beats. Okay, these were massive expectations, particularly on NVIDIA. And people are going to talk about the valuation of NVIDIA. The reality is NVIDIA is a much cheaper stock on a forward-looking PE ratio than it was a year ago or 2 years ago. And if the CEO is right, Jensen Huang, that this is going to be a $300 billion GPU market by 2026, this stock could triple from here. So what's driving these
from here?
Yes, what's driving these stocks are massive earnings gains, massive revenue gains, because the face of computing has changed, and that's bled out into the entire earnings season.
Yeah,
so,
but I know, but Michael, look, you're talking about a triple from here. The stock is up better than 230% over the last year. Now, Michael Balboni, I know you're on the board of a small. They don't throw the garbage out without holding their pistol because they're afraid of who's on their property.
And Maria, there was a rancher near the border who had an invader and felt threatened for his life and ended up shooting and killing him. It's not the illegal that was trespassing and threatening the homeowner that's under indictment. It's the landowner. We now live in a banana republic where illegal immigrants from other parts of the world have far more rights and privileges than our own citizens.
And it changed very quickly, Michael Balboni, in about 30. That's what they said. He's weak on crime. That's why he directed MAGA Republicans to kill the toughest and fairest reforms to secure the border in decades and tried to defund the police. Yes, they say Trump tried to defund the police every year he was in office. The truth is, they write, Donald Trump doesn't want to secure the border. He prefers chaos and cruelty because he's betting it helps him politically. Michael Lee, I think the Democrats believe, and the Biden-Harris campaign believes, that if they say it, then everyone will just believe it. Just say it, and then it's true. Even though we know there is absolutely no truth to that. We lived the Trump administration. We all watched it, and he was not defunding the police. It was actually the progressives defunding the police. In fact, they stripped $1 billion out of the police force, forcing New York to fire and get rid of police officers.
Maria, the walls are closing in on this administration. Okay, their communist lawfare tactics are falling by the wayside one by one. You've seen the drama in Georgia, Supreme Court taking up charges this week. This is like the last gasp of a dying regime, to quote another little program there. But it's unbelievable to watch them try to say this. It's so objectively false. All you can do is laugh at it, and these aren't laughing matters. But when their explanation and their defense is so far removed from reality, what else can you do? right? The Biden administration and everything that has led Trump to lead in the polls is only going to get worse, and I would say materially worse, over the next 8 to 9 months before the election. Laken Riley is by nowhere near the first, and she is not going to be the last of Americans that are going to die as a result of Biden administration's policies at the border. And remember, 66 separate executive actions to weaken border security.
Yeah. All right. We will slip in a short break. Then we are watching markets.